Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing well. If it is your first time here, my name is Hanan and welcome to the channel. Welcome to another video. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I think that everybody has their own version of what it means to be that girl, and everyone's version is completely different. We see these types of videos all over on social media, whether it's Pinterest, Instagram, and TikTok. I personally feel like I didn't become that girl just by following trends or copying someone else's morning routine. I became that version of her when I found myself getting really exhausted, searching for video, making all these vision boards, and never feeling like things were actually changing for me. This video is pushing away from focusing on aesthetics, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys real strategies, things that have actually worked for me and have helped me to become my version of that girl. And I'm going to be sharing with you my exact routine on how I was able to rebuild myself, you know, my hair health, my gut health, my mental health. So if you are so tired of waiting for the perfect time to get your life together, this is the video for you. Of course, before we start this video, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video so you can be a part of the family. And without further ado, let's get this video started. Now, the first thing we're going to be talking about is your hair health. Now, you guys can't see my hair, obviously. For the hijabis in particular, and even the non-hijabis, but more particularly for my hijabis, babes, you're balding. Your hairline is receding. Your hairline literally said assalamu alaikum and it's gone. We need to fix that. Just because you wear hijab does not mean that you stop caring for your hair. If anything, you need to be taking extra care of your hair because of the fact that it's covered and it's not able to breathe. So that means it needs extra care. And the last thing that you want to do is not take care of your hair. And when the hijab comes off, it's a shocker. We don't need that. I've gone through so many challenges with my hair. I have permed my hair when I was younger. I've gone through relaxer. I have straightened my hair multiple times. I've colored my hair and bleached it. I've gone through all types of things with my hair. When I would take care of my hair would flourish, of course. But when I didn't, I found that my hair was thinning at the front. It would start to break because of the fact that a lot of us put slick down buns so that our hijab can stay put and sit really nicely. What this does is it causes a lot of friction in the top part of your hair, and your hairline starts to recede because of all the friction and all the pulling with our hair, and there's also a lot of shedding. Hair health is a very unique challenge for hijabis, and I feel like it is not talked about enough. Of course, we keep our hair covered for a long period of time, and that can actually trap moisture and heat. And in turn, that creates an environment in your head where there's a lot of dryness, a lot of flakiness, there's more breakage, and you'll even deal with scalp issues as well. Now, I have realized very early on that it wasn't necessarily just about what I was using on my hair, but it was also about how I was wearing my hijab too. What I wear underneath matters. The undercaps that I use are usually lined with silk or satin, and this really helps with your hair because cotton causes a lot of friction. I also switched away from using tight undercap. Tight hairstyles under hijab might look neat. Like I literally have a bun at the moment right now. However, they're brutal for your hairline. My bun is very loose. It is not tight. You don't want to use these types of hairbands. You want to use things like a scrunchie, something that's very light, and make sure that the bun is very loose. You don't want to feel that tension when you're tying your hair. Now let's talk about oils. This is for hijabis and non-hijabis, okay? The type of oils that you use in your hair will make a difference in terms of your hair growth, your hair thickness, and your hair health. What I like to do is actually create my own little hair oil, and I will mix these exact oils together. Rosemary oil. Rosemary oil is really good for your hair because it helps to improve the thickness of your hair, and it works just as effectively as minoxidil. Black seed oil, it is sunnah, but it also has antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. What I do is I mix these oils with carrier oils, so oils such as jojoba oil, coconut oil, and sometimes I will also add vitamin E oil as an antioxidant boost. Then I will take these oils and massage it into my scalp. When you're massaging it into your hair, you can use your hands to massage it, you know, at least 5 to 10 minutes, or you can use one of these. This is what it looks like. You take it and you just massage it into your scalp. Go to the back, go to the side, literally your entire head. It's going to improve the blood circulation in your scalp, which in turn will boost the blood flow and allow for your hair to grow longer and thicker. Massaging your scalp is actually really good as well because it will help to reduce stress and also prevent hair loss. Another thing as well is when you massage your scalp, you're actually exfoliating your scalp at the same time because what you're doing is removing the dead skin cells that are accumulating on there. And that will also help to reduce dandruff, and it will make your hair a lot more healthier and shinier too. Other things you need to consider as well is what you are putting into your body. Protein, protein, protein. I know everybody talks about protein, but protein is so important. What you put into your body is going to reflect what you look like on the outside. Your hair is made of keratin, which is a protein, and without it, the hair strands are going to weaken. I actually had my ferritin levels tested, which was my iron, and I found out that my iron levels were so low. I don't know why I was shocked, to be honest. I'm East African, it's just in our blood. But the minute I got that tested, I knew I had to make a change quickly. So I started taking my iron pills. I take my iron pills every single day. Sometimes I will take it with vitamin C because it will help to absorb the iron pills much quicker. I'll also avoid drinking caffeine when I take my iron pills. I'll give it another hour before I drink my caffeine. Iron pills, iron pills, iron pills. If you have low iron, please take your iron pills. That's literally why your hair is falling off, because you're not taking your iron seriously and you're not taking the supplements that you need to take. You're not taking it seriously, and then you're shocked that you're balding. Last but not least, when it comes to your hair, deep conditioning. Every single Sunday is my sacred day of getting my hair deep conditioned using a very thick restorative mask. These are a few hair masks that I love and they work really, really well for my hair. Of course, you can find what works for you, but I love these products. Anything and everything that I share with you guys in this video will be linked in my description box below, so you guys can check it out and get it for yourselves if you would like. Now, when you are wearing a thick restorative hair mask, another thing that you can actually do is wear a heating cap. There are different types of heating caps that you can use. I really like this one. I'll put it on and just let it sit for about 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Then I'll take it off and wash my hair. I don't do this whole deep conditioning for 5 to 7 minutes like it says on the label. I have curly hair. I like to let it sit. Sometimes I'll even sleep with my deep conditioning mask and then just wash it off in the morning and do my hair in the morning. But more often than not, I will let it sit for at least 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, sometimes even an hour. When you take care of your hair, you will feel good, you will see it in yourself, and you'll feel confident. Especially for my hijabis, when you take off your hijab, you want to see your hair flourish. You know what I mean? Take care of your hair. Next is your gut health. Now listen, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was really playing with my life and I used to never take my gut health seriously. I never took it seriously. I knew I would always deal with bloating, fatigue. I had a lot of brain fog and, you know, all I kept doing was consuming dairy. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, dairy is my biggest downfall. It is my biggest struggle. I love cheese. I love anything dairy, and heavy carbs I absolutely love. But it is so bad for my gut. The minute that I changed that, I saw immediate changes in my body, in my mind, in my mental clarity, and how I was navigating every single day. It completely changed everything. Your gut is so powerful and it literally controls your mind. And your gut isn't just where your food is digested, but it's also deeply connected to your immune system, your skin, your brain, and even your mood. Over 90% of your serotonin, which is your feel-good hormone, is produced in the gut. And when it's inflamed, everything else will feel a lot harder. So this is what I do, and it might seem like a lot, but I promise these are things that you need to do to really invest in your gut health, and it is worth it because health is what? Health is wealth. So when I wake up in the morning, I will have some warm water with some lemon, and I'll also do apple cider vinegar with warm water as well. I have really tried my best to introduce probiotic rich foods into my diet. So things like kefir, plain Greek yogurt. These are all examples of probiotic rich foods that you can introduce into your diet. Let's actually break down what a probiotic is in your body. Probiotic is a good bacteria that actually helps to keep your gut, your stomach, and your intestines healthy. So think of it like this, right? You have millions of bacteria in your body. Some of them are good bacteria and some of them are bad bacteria. Probiotics are the good guys, and they will help with things like your digestion and also with fighting off very harmful bacteria. But when you focus on probiotics, it will help with bloating, it will help with your digestion, and will also help with if you have stomach issues and deal with things like IBS, for example. Other things that I do in the morning that really help me is really increasing my fiber intake. Fiber. You need to increase fiber in your diet. What I try to do is aim for at least 30 grams of fiber every single morning. And ways that you can do that is through, things like berries, oats, chia seeds. What I love doing is I will have yogurt every single morning with blueberries, strawberries, then I'll add some chia seeds, then I'll add some oats on top of that. Really change the quality of my mornings. It has changed the quality of my entire day. Other things that you can also do is take L-glutamine. L-glutamine powder is not only good for your health, but I swear to you, it has made a massive difference with my mental clarity. It really helps to maintain the integrity of your intestinal lining. You need to also cut out the ultra processed foods, okay? Not everyday processed foods. I'm saying this to myself because I know what it's like when I'm eating burgers and pizza and French fries all the time, and then I'm shocked when I see how bloated I am and it literally looks like I'm 6 months pregnant. It's because the food that you're eating is so bad and your gut is literally fighting for its life. Within weeks, you will notice changes with your skin, with your mental health. Your mind will feel a lot sharp, and you're not going to crash out by 3 o'clock in the afternoon because your mind is at its best, it's at its peak, and your body is at its peak. And don't forget the hadith where we know that your body has a right over you. You need to take care of your body, and taking care of your gut is not something that's just physical, but you can also view it as an act of worship as well, because we are responsible for our bodies, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask us how we took care of ourselves. And the best thing that you can do is take care of your gut, because your gut is truly considered to be the second mind of your body. 3, skincare. Now, we love skincare over here, okay? I'm such a skincare girly. Now, as much as I love skincare, I found that my skin only started to improve when I actually simplified the products that I was using. And I love trying new things. I love seeing what's new in the market and what really works with my skin. But I also like to simplify the things that I do every single day. And when I'm done with a product, that's when I'll usually introduce something. Your skin barrier is very delicate. And the more that you're stripping that skin barrier, the worse that your skin will become. So what I did was actually simplify everything. Morning and night, cleanser, moisturizer, SPF. Sometimes I will add a serum. Sometimes I'll add, a spray over it to kind of refresh or rehydrate my skin. These are some examples of cleansers that I've absolutely loved and have finished time and time again. Again, I've linked all of this down in my description box for you guys to check out. At night, I will always double cleanse, especially on the days where I'm wearing makeup. You have to double cleanse. Sometimes you think that your skin is clean, but it's not. You need to double cleanse. Starting with an oil cleanser to really break down that SPF and all of the impurities that are sitting on your skin from being outside all day. Follow that over with a gentle cleanser to remove the residue. I really love the Elemis cleansing balm to take off my makeup. It works so well for my skin. My skin feels butter soft every single time I use it. For moisturizer, I'm always aiming for, barrier supporting formulas that are rich in things like niacinamide and different types of ceramide. Never ever skip sunscreen. There is no reason that you should not be wearing sunscreen. Now, I know some girls are like, I don't wear sunscreen. Your skin will tell on you in 5 years if you do not wear sunscreen. It is so bad. UV rays are so bad. It can literally lead to cancer and other types of health issues. You need to take care of your skin. Now, ways that I support my skin internally, I take biotin, zinc, omega-3, and vitamin D. I also drastically cut down on dairy. You also need to be drinking water, y'all. Some of y'all are so dehydrated and we can tell. You need to drink water, 2 to 3 liters of water every single day. I know it's hard and your body is going to be like, you're going to be in the toilet 24/7, like peeing your life away, but you need to be drinking water, babes. I know everybody tells you that and you're sick and tired and you probably hate water. If you hate water, add some flavors to make the water taste better, but you need to be drinking water, babes. Yeah, there needs to be water in your system. Or you can just stop being childish and just drink the water, because there's no reason for you to not like water. You're literally made of water. Anyways, not too much. Next is really talking about your mental health and your discipline. Now, discipline, like I said to you guys so many times before, does not come from motivation, because motivation comes and goes, but discipline is something that you have to work on and maintain yourself. Discipline itself comes from system, from having very small, non-negotiable routines. Every single morning, I would try my very best to go outside on a walk. If it didn't happen in the morning, it would happen in the evening. When I do push myself to go on that morning walk, morning light exposure will make an absolute major difference with your entire day. Ideally within the first hour of waking up, because what that does is it helps to regulate your circadian rhythm, it boosts your dopamine, and it helps to also reduce your cortisol, which is related to stress. I will try my best when I go out to walk without my headphones, although that is very hard because you guys see me and I have those headphones glued onto my head. But I try my best to go without my headphones in the morning so that I can really listen to nature, I can do my morning adhkars, and I can also just have that moment to really reflect on the things that I'm grateful for. Journaling has really allowed me to really break those toxic patterns that I have with my own mental health, and also become a lot more emotionally in tune with myself and a lot more emotionally intelligent. I'm able to understand myself a lot better. Next is your phone. Really be that damn phone that is setting you back 10 steps behind. Our phones were designed to keep us addicted. Every scroll, every single time it pings, all the notifications, all of it is designed to really hijack our attention. I really did not realize how much my phone usage was actually affecting me until I went on a full 1-week digital detox. I do not touch my phone when I wake up in the morning. I do not touch my phone for at least an hour. The phone is not on site. And what I actually do is I will take my phone, set up my alarm, and put my phone on my table, which is so far away from me. I'll put my phone on the table with, it took a lot to get to that point because I feel like I needed my phone. Like I needed to touch my phone. I did not. When I tell you having a morning routine of just complete silence is such a game changer. I don't check messages. I don't scroll. I don't open up my apps. The same thing goes for at night. I will stop scrolling 90 minutes before I go to bed. This is really hard to do, you guys, especially if you are the type of person who's getting ready for bed and you're so excited to get on your phone. But when I tell you, at least an hour and a half of not using your phone before you go to bed will change everything for you. In that time, you can do other things. You can clean, you can read a book, get back to reading. Our attention spans are so short. I remember when I started getting back into reading, I literally could not get through 2 pages because my brain was like, what is actually going on? I felt like my brain needed to be rewired to get back into reading because I actually could not get through a few pages. And it was because I was so used to quickly scrolling, reflecting, talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, praying an extra prayer. I swear to you, my mind feels at ease. Every time I do that, my mind feels at ease and I even have much better sleep. Other things as well is obviously on social media, I talk to you guys about social media detox, making sure that you're following people who actually inspire you and make you want to be a better person. Now, you guys, I feel like some people don't actually realize how impactful it is to follow the right people because we don't realize the impact of the things that we see and how it actually affects the way that we think and affects our minds. This phone in your hand is your biggest trigger. You can also do things like try to have days where you have no screen days, where you really try your best to limit your screen time and just not touch your phone at all. Next is your sleep hygiene. Now, sleep is a non-negotiable. We do not talk enough about why sleep is so important. I'm going to actually recommend this podcast episode. Highly recommend that you guys listen to it. Interviews someone named Dr. Gina, and they talk about how sleep will actually better boost your energy and also your memory. Sleep isn't just for resting, right? It's actually repairing your entire body and your mind. This is a time where your body is detoxing. This is a time where your hormones are recalibrating and your skin regenerates and your brain is also consolidating memory and saving everything that you've learned that day, everything that you've talked about that day. When you fix your sleep, your mood will change. Your skin will get better. Your gut will heal faster. Everything will work better for you when you take your sleep seriously. You need to be getting at least 8 hours of sleep every single night. Not 5 hours, not 6 hours, at least 8 hours. If you can't do 8 hours, aim for at least 7 hours. But you need to be sleeping for at least that amount of time. What I like to do is actually dim the lights before I go to bed, come to bed at least an hour before I know I need to knock out. So if I'm aiming to go to bed and sleep by 11 p.m., I'm in bed by about 10 p.m. Why do I do this? Because it takes time for my body to sleep. It takes time for my body and for my eyes to actually close, and it takes a minute for me to feel tired. I turn off all of the lights in my room, and then I will drink my chamomile tea. Sometimes I will have a blend of ashwagandha, and that really helps me to feel so calm, so relaxed, and it also helps me to have really good sleep. Also for my faith-based girly, making sure to read Surah Al-Mulk before you go to bed, because I promise you, not only are you protected, but you also have such a good sleep. So reading Surah Al-Mulk as well doesn't take more than 5 minutes. Very short surah. Highly recommend that you maintain that into your sleep hygiene routine, and then you will have a very restful sleep. You'll have reduced anxiety. You'll wake up in the morning feeling fresh and ready to take on the day. So take your sleep very seriously. Next is movement. Talk about movement. We talk about exercise. Everybody talks about exercise, but why is exercise so important? Why is it so important to move your body? Movement is actually one of the most powerful antidepressants, anti-inflammatory, and it's also the biggest self-respect tool that we have with taking care of ourselves. Now, do you guys ever feel like when you're not in the best mood and you go outside, why do they call it a stupid mental health walk? It's because when you go outside and you move your body feels better, your mind feels better, and it actually impacts your mood. I walk every single day, and it's not necessarily just about getting my steps in, but it's also about building that habit. Walking clears my head and it gets me out of the house as well. And it also builds on that momentum of moving my body and getting my body used to moving. Now, when it comes to the gym, there are so many different exercises you can do. If you're not a gym girly and you don't enjoy going to the gym, at least doing things like stretches or at-home Pilates, at-home movements, things that you're doing to really strengthen your muscles. If you do go to the gym, there are so many different exercise routines that you guys can check out over on TikTok. At least 3 days a week lifting weights. Now, not only is it going to change your body composition, but it will also allow you to feel a lot more confident with yourself. Your movement doesn't need to be intense in order for it to be effective. You just need to move your body. Next is your faith. Okay, you cannot be that girl, in my personal opinion, if you don't have a moral compass that really guides you in your life. Now, obviously this looks different for everybody. For me, that is centering Islam in my life and really putting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first in my life. Now, when I started putting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first, everything else in my life really changed and things aligned for me so beautifully. Taking my salah more seriously and, praying with khushu and not actually rushing it, sitting after salah and taking a moment to really speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and tell him what's on my heart and really letting my heart speak freely to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Adding dhikr into your day-to-day movement, adding dhikr into your day-to-day life. Simply doing things like when you're cooking, saying subhanallah 33 times, Allahu Akbar 33 times, la ilaha illallah 33 times, just really adding adding dhikr into your daily routine. The path of becoming that girl is a lot more difficult if you do not have something that centers you, like faith, for example, because the world will tell you what you should be like. They will tell you to hustle, to do this, to fix yourself. But what always brings you back is having something that grounds you, and that is your faith, and that is having Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by your side, and just reminding yourself to be really patient and recognizing that not only does it take time to build that relationship, but having that relationship alone will allow for all of the things that we talked about to work in your favor. Next thing that I really love doing is mood boarding. I'm such a mood board girly through and through. Now I know I talked about how this isn't just about aesthetics and things like that, but I'm a very visual person. I like to see things, and every single month at the start of the month, I get the most excited because it's a new month, new energy, new mindset, and I really feel like every new chapter of your life requires you to create a new version of yourself. Like, I truly believe that. But that version of yourself that you want is not created by chance. It's created through intention and really taking it seriously. And as I'm creating the mood board, I'll ask myself, how do I feel? What do I want this month to look like? What is this month going to feel like for me? What habits do I want to continuously implement throughout this month that make me feel good every single day? I really like to visualize not just the results, but also what that process will look like. Waking up early, praying on time, eating meals that are very nourishing for me, finding new recipes, logging off of my phone, really creating, resting, doing all of these things and really centering yourself. That is what a real glow up will look like. When your daily habits align with your values, and when you stop waiting to become that version of yourself that you've always wanted to become and just practice on doing the thing, you will realize that you're already in the process of becoming and building that version of yourself. You're doing it already right now, every single day. When you are going through this stage, do not compare where you're at to where other people are at, because you are on your own timeline. You're figuring this out for yourself, and really you are just at the very beginning of your next chapter. Always, always, always try to find a reason to learn something new. I have made a commitment to myself to never stop learning. Just because I finished school, just because I graduated, doesn't mean that the learning should stop. Asking yourself, what can I explore today? What are some books out there that will really teach me something about myself? What are some educational YouTube videos that I can watch? Substack is a really big thing that everybody's really into right now. Reading articles that other people have written and really stimulating your mind. You can take courses, you can take classes, following creators that are online that really challenge the way that you think. Feeding your brain is just as important as feeding your body. You have to make learning a part of your day-to-day lifestyle. You can learn about nutrition, you can learn about relationships, you can learn about psychology, you can learn about your deen. Curiosity is what will allow you to continuously evolve. Let go of people who drain you. If there are people in your environment right now that you feel like are setting you 10 steps behind, let them go. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life. And as you continuously evolve, you will see that for yourself. One of the hardest parts of healing, one of the hardest parts of growing and becoming a new version of yourself is coming to the realization that you need to actually create distance from people who drain you, from people who don't make you feel good, who make you feel bad about yourself, who make you question things about yourself, who don't make you feel safe, even if you do love them. Protecting your peace doesn't mean that you do not care about that person and you do not care about their well-being. It means that you care enough about yourself to actually set those boundaries and set them in place firmly. If every time you talk to someone and you feel anxious and you don't feel good about yourself, you are allowed to fully make that choice of walking away from relationships that drain you. The best thing that you can do is set up an environment for yourself that will actually nourish your mind and nourish the way that you think about yourself and also how you think about the world around you. The people that you keep in your life will really determine what your future looks like and what that future version of yourself looks like, because the best thing that you can do is keep people around you who uplift you, who love you, who make you feel good about yourself, who remind you about how wonderful and amazing you are and how loved you are. But if your environment is the opposite of that, how do you expect yourself to evolve and grow? You need to really do an environment audit and look at the people around you and ask yourself, are these people going to drive and help me become a better version of myself, or are they taking me 10 steps behind? Now I remind myself daily that it's always about progress over perfection. Done is better than perfect. Showing up imperfectly still counts. It still means that you are there, and you need to give yourself the permission to be messy, to make mistakes, and to be a beginner, because perfectionism and aiming for perfection is just something in your mind. It is a myth. It's not a real thing. Nobody is perfect. We're human beings and we're flawed. Practice and find a new hobby. I feel like what makes people interesting is knowing that they have a hobby. Like if someone tells me that they do something on the side, I automatically will think that they are so cool. I'm like, you're really that girl. Like this is what you do in your free time. You're not on your phone 24/7. You go outside and you do these things, and you go and you do pottery and you go horseback riding. Like you're so cool. They do things outside of the norm. And when you're practicing these hobbies, you do not need to monetize everything. I think the problem now, because of hustle culture, is that if someone finds something that they enjoy doing, they automatically say, I should start a business. No, you can enjoy what you're doing and you can enjoy that hobby for yourself. It doesn't need to be monetized. I think sometimes the problem is the minute that you monetize something, the enjoyment of that thing just dies, because now the reason you're doing it is to make money. It's not to nourish yourself and to do it out of enjoyment. Find something for yourself that you truly enjoy, you know, whether it's drawing, cooking, quilting, horseback riding, ceramics, junk journaling. Just create for the sake of creating. And when you allow yourself to do things simply for the sake of doing them, simply because they bring you joy, you are not only reconnecting with your inner child, but also the part of yourself that has always been so afraid to try something new. You need to identify and break bad habits. Now, you already know what your bad habits are. You know, those are the habits that you have that are draining you, that are causing you to feel distracted. You know, whether it's mindlessly scrolling on TikTok, eating late at night, skipping your prayer, talking to yourself in a very toxic way. Your healing and you becoming that version of yourself will start when you actually get honest with yourself about what's not working for you. You don't need to actually change everything all at once. That's not how it works. But what you can do is actually choose one habit and replace it with something better. If you are the type of person that scrolls an hour before bed, swap it with reading. If you always snack when you're stressed out, go for a walk. Your habits will really shape your identity. So you want to be really intentional so that you can shape those habits with purpose. So yeah, I pretty much think that's all that I have to say. All in all, becoming that girl is not about, you know, being this perfect girl that everybody looks up to and thinks, wow, she's literally perfect. No, we're not aiming for perfection. It's really about taking that responsibility and making the choice to make those changes, working on your health, your healing process, your happiness, and really inviting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that process. Just remember that that version of yourself that you're aiming to become is already inside of you right now. She's just waiting to flourish and come out. And the choices that you make today and the choices that you make every single day will determine what that version of yourself looks like and allow her to come out of you. You just have to stop abandoning her and really be intentional about your choices and the choices that you make every single day. So yeah, that is pretty much everything I have to say. If this video helped you out, of course, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next video, inshallah. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.